Welcome to More with the Mac, JP Reloaded. We're going to have some short demos. We're going to have some Q&A. We might even have some special guests stop by. So sit back, relax, gather your notes and ask questions, and enjoy More with the Mac, JP Reloaded. Welcome to another session of More with the Mac, JP Reloaded. Today we're going to jump into showing you how to set up a time machine backup. I have not decided yet if I'm going to record, restoring the Mac from clean install or a time machine backup yet, because the audio quality might not be that great based on it having to use my Mac Studio speaker that's built into the unit. I don't have a pair of external speakers, but we will see what happens there. Later on, we're going to have a Mac for the Blind Rewind. I'm going to have John Panarese walk you through how he uses TextEdit, some things that I might have missed, and of course, because it's JP Reloaded, he has to be featured. And to wrap it up, my buddy from ttjtech.biz is going to walk you through how to navigate and use the music app on the Mac. We've had a few requests for that, so we will go over that. Now, on to Time Machine. Time Machine is the Mac's built-in backup solution. Now, there's stuff like Carbon Copy Cloner and some other ones that you can pay for that actually clone your whole system and that are paid. This one is built into Apple. Now, the first thing that you should do is you should have a dedicated external USB or USB-C hard drive to have this time machine backup housed on. The reason I say that is because when you'll find out when I show you, the Mac is going to erase whatever is on that hard drive. So if you have files that are on that hard drive that you are using, I would advise you to either back them up or do what I'm about to show you and create an ASPF volume that's dedicated just for the time machine backup. Now this what is it called? This external hard drive that I have is 6 terabytes, but my system is only 1 terabyte. And I don't do backups. I don't have it do a backup every time I make a change. I do a backup once after I've set my Mac up completely the way I like it, and then maybe 6 months later, I'll go and update it. But I don't have it do it all the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into VoiceOver, or not VoiceOver, but I'm going to dive into disk utilities. And to get to that, I have to do Command-Shift-U to get to the utilities.
List view. In activity monitor application.
And what we're looking for is disk utility.
Airport audio mid Bluetooth file color sync console app digital color disk utility application.
And there it is.
Disk utility window, disk selection table, row 4 of 7, Macintosh HD snapshot, selected has keyboard focus.
All right, he said a lot of stuff there, but the most important thing he said that we need to listen to is that the fact that this is the table of the disks that are available. So let's interact.
In disk selection table, Macintosh HD, data, external, expanded.
All right, external, this is what I want.
One touch, eject.
All right, it's called One Touch. I never renamed it, so let's stop interacting.
Toolbar, in toolbar. Turn items, view, add APFS volume.
There it is. It's the first option. Add APFS volume. And again, this is not you're not what's the thing called? You're not partitioning this drive. You are giving its own dedicated volume or another hard drive built into this hard drive, however you want to spin it, because if you partition it, when you go to set up Time Machine, it's still going to delete everything else. You want it to have its own volume, but I'll show you what else is in here.
Delete APFS volume.
So I could delete the APS volume, which I don't want to do because I have a lot of important data on this file or on this external hard drive.
Volume. First aid. Partition.
There's partition. We very rarely use that anymore.
Erase.
We could erase it.
Restore. Unmount.
Unmount, which would basically just eject it.
Info.
All right, and that's it. All right, so let's jump back up here to
View. Add APFS volume.
This is what I'm going to do. Add APFS volume.
In dialog add APFS volume to container. APFS volumes share storage space within their container. Name. Format. In dialog name. Untitled. Content selected. Edit text.
All right, there's the name.
Selection deleted.
And I'm going to name it TM2026.
Name. TM2026. Format.
Here's the format.
APFS.
APFS. Let's see what our choices are, but that's what we want.
Menu checkmark APFS encrypted.
You could have it encrypted, which means you're going to need a password to use it.
APFS case sensitive.
I've never really used that one, so I can't tell you what it means.
APFS case sensitive encrypted. APFS
right.
case sensitive.
And then were your choices. I'm leaving it on APFS.
Size options. Cancel. Size options.
Here's our size options.
In non-dialog, size reserve size. Non-edit text blank.
Now, it says none because the theory is that you want it to grow as you need it. I think I'm going to leave it like that because, number one, I don't use Time Machine that often anyway. And number two, it's never going to go above what I need or what I don't need anyway. So I'm just going to leave it. But you could put in a specific amount here if you wanted it to be 500 GB, 1 TB, whatever. But I'm going to leave it.
Quota size non-edit text dB. Okay. Size APFS size options. Cancel.
All right. And there's a cancel button and
add.
And we're going to go ahead and add it.
Disclosure triangle. Adding APFS volume, TM2026. Adding is complete. Click Done to continue. Show Done.
I'm going to go ahead and click Done.
Disk selection table.
All right, so I'm going to close this out.
Finder. Utilities. Desktop.
And now I could get the Time Machine a couple of different ways. I could go to System Settings, General, and do it that way, but it's actually in my menu bar. My status bar, I should say. So I'm going to VOM twice.
Status menus, audio and video. Audio hot Dropbox to OneDrive up to Rocket. K-Lift, Google Drive, Time Machine.
And there it is. So we're going to VO spacebar.
Waiting to complete first backup. Backup now. Browse Time Machine backups. Open Time Machine settings ellipsis.
So we're going to open the settings.
Static find system window. Sidebar. Row 11 of 37. General. Selected. Row 4 expanded.
Now remember, I told you it is in the general section. That's why I'm saying that. So let's VO right arrow.
Verticals Time Machine.
Here's Time Machine. We're going to interact.
In Time Machine backs up your computer and keeps local snapshots and hourly backups for the past 24 hours. Daily backups for the past month and weekly backups for all previous months. The oldest backups and any local snapshots are deleted as space is needed.
I love VoiceOver. It does exactly what you did it way better than that job than I would. Like I was saying, it will make a backup every time you make a change, but I turn that feature off and I'll show you how to do that here.
Table.
No, wait, turn this junk off.
Timetable.
All right, so here's where I got a
Time Machine. Time Machine backs up your computer and table.
All right, so here's where we got to select the location of the Time Machine backup. So I'm going to interact with the table.
In table, Phantom, 3.60 terabyte available, waiting to back up. Next backup, when triggered manually. Options.
So
remove, add.
We're going to add.
In dialog, table. Cancel table in one touch TM2026 2.75 terabyte available.
All right, so there it is. It says TM 2026, which is what I named it in
one touch.
There's the actual other volume on this hard drive, which I don't want to use because that's where all my important data is. So we're going to go down here to Time Machine or TM 2026.
TM 2026.
And it's not showing up because I don't have it enabled, but on my network attached storage NAS server that I have in the house, which is clearly on the other side of the house in a cabinet under the drawer. Anyway, it has a Time Machine thing on it also, but I don't use it That's specifically for other stuff. But anyways, I'm going to select this here.
Cancel setup disk.
Setup disk.
Encrypt backup on switch.
Now, it says encrypt backup. I don't want that because what if I forget the password? And I'm safe enough where nobody's going to be able to get to this data anyways. And besides, if they don't have my Apple ID password, they're not going to be able to restore anything anyway. So I'm going to turn this off.
Off.
I don't want it encrypted.
Encrypt backup. Encrypt disk usage limit. Disk usage limit none. Selected. Radio button. One of two.
It says none.
Disk usage limit custom. Radio button.
I could customize it, which I'm not,
two.
because again, the time machine backup, you never know how big it's going to be.
Cancel.
And then
done.
Then you go to done.
Preparing. TM 2026. Preparing. Remove. Options.
Now here's the options.
7 items.
This is where you want to come if you don't want it to back up every hour on the hour or every time you make a change.
Backup frequency manually. Backup frequency.
Mine is on
menu check mark manually.
There's manually.
Automatically every day. Automatically every week. Automatically every week.
So you could set it. I didn't know this. This is new. You could set it to only back up certain times. Manually once a week. I used to have this app where I could do it once a month. It was called Time Machine Scheduler or something like that. I don't use it no more because me and Time Machine, we really don't get along. So I'm going to leave mine on manually.
Manually. To manually start a backup, select Backup Now from the Time Machine menu. Exclude from backups.
All right, you can exclude certain files. I don't do that, so we're going to go past that. But if you want to play around with that, then go ahead.
Table.
And there's a table where you would exclude things.
Add.
And then you would add them.
Remove.
Done. And then we just hit done.
Options.
And then the time machine backup is pretty much ready to go.
Add. Table. Time machine backs up your computer. Add. Remove. Options. Help. Time machine.
And it's pretty much done. Now I'll just close this out.
Finder.
And if I go back to my status menu.
Status menus. Time machine. Waiting to complete first backup. Backup now.
I can back up now.
Browse time machine backups.
I can browse the backups.
Open time machine settings ellipsis.
Or I can open the settings, which is what I did from here before.
Open time machine.
And that's it. And that's pretty much
settings
that's pretty much how you set it up. Again, I would recommend setting up an APS volume to have the dedicated place for the time machine backup to be, because if you don't, like I said, whatever volume or external hard drive you use, it's going to erase it just to use it to configure it for the backup. One thing I do miss about Apple, and they discontinued it, was the time capsule. It was dedicated for your time machine backup, number one, and it was a Wi-Fi router. Man, was it was excellent. I mean, it automatically backed it up. It had great Wi-Fi signal, and it was 100% accessible. You could even hide your network so people couldn't find it when they came to your house. It was nice. But that is Time Machine, folks. Coming up next, we got a more Mac for the Blind rewind. Stay tuned.
Most of what I do as far as like word processing on a daily basis is through TextEdit. Now, the problem that sometimes is encountered is that people think of TextEdit as WordPad or Notepad in Windows, and it's not. It is a word processor, pretty robust. It doesn't have the bells and whistles of Word or Pages, so you can't insert text boxes, you can't have footnotes, endnotes, and things like that. But if you're just needing a basic word processor for document management, TextEdit is pretty straightforward.
Toolbar, edit text.
So you really have just the toolbar and then the edit text field. I have the ruler hidden. So it's just basically Command N to open a blank document.
Is there a command for that hide ruler? Because I know there is in Pages, but
there is. It's in the view menu. I don't remember it. I just did it a long time ago.
Close edit text toolbar.
The toolbar
in regular 12 font size.
So it does have some of the things. So I've interacted with the toolbar with VO shift down arrow, and now I'm VO right arrowing.
Black text color,
so
color well
there's
group.
Things that you have the color
RGB
well.
00 text style group, text alignment radio group, 1.0.
So
Line spacing. Pop-up button.
Some of these things you have to interact again with. Other ones are like pop-up, drop-down menus, pop-up buttons, whatever you want to call them.
List style. Menu button.
So these are like menus. But some of this
List
stuff you
bullets
can
and
also reach in through the menus in themselves. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. But in case you want to get into the toolbar, as Cliff demonstrated with Word, Control F5 will take you directly into the toolbar and save you the trouble of having to interact. So I'm just going to stop.
Out of tool, edit text, in edit text.
And I just VO right arrowed past the vertical splitter. I interacted with the body and you're good to go right there.
This is a t at ta o e act ta e d t at space e works.
So we have, just a couple of sentences here. So as long as you know your document navigation commands to, either navigate by word, character, sentence, etc. That's obviously a part of any word processor. It doesn't matter which one you choose. The navigation commands are going to work, pretty much as far as the VoiceOver commands go. Word can be a little bit wonky at times, but by and large, you shouldn't have any issues. So
this is T.
I didn't misspell. I'm going to misspell.
This is a test a ta ta t e e t ta.
I'm just going to misspell a word here. So at least in TextEdit, you have different options for spell checking. So Command Shift semicolon is the universal spell checker. I personally like Command semicolon.
Selected.
What it does is it highlights each misspelled word, and then what you do is VO Shift M.
Menu. Test.
And then you have your spelling alternatives.
T's, tweeze, ignore spell, learn spell, look up, translate.
So pretty much everything that you see in the full-blown spell checker dialog, you have available through the shortcut menu. So I'm just going to go back.
Look, learn, ignore, tweet, test.
And just hit enter.
Test.
And it replaces the TEEST with the proper spelling. So at least with TextEdit, you have the ability to, use the Apple spell checking methods that people get used to using. Now, again, TextEdit does not have things like endnotes and footnotes. You can do tables, but they're not super accessible with VoiceOver unless you're very careful and you kind of pay attention to formatting and tabs and stuff like that. You can get away with doing a basic table, but if you want like a really good solid table, you're better off using Pages or Word for that kind of, heavy duty work. Now, if you go to the menu bar with VOM,
Apple menu, TextEdit file menu.
So we're just going to take a quick look down the file menu here, because this is a typical Apple word processor, or what Apple likes to call iCloud savvy application.
New command N.
So we have new
open ellipsis command O. Open recent submenu.
Open recent, which is one of my favorite things because this keeps track of the last 10 documents that you have used, and Pages has this option as well. So if you're working on a document on a regular basis, you don't have to go looking for it through the open dialog. As long as you've had it within the last 10 documents that you've manipulated, it'll be in that list.
Close command, save ellipsis, duplicate command shift S.
So we have duplicate instead of save as, which basically duplicates the original document, and you have two versions, so to speak, available in the TextEdit windows.
Isn't it essentially the same thing?
It is, but it isn't. What happens with save as is save as replaces the actual, so you only have the one document window now. What duplicate does is it actually has the original and then it has the second, the copy. So what you can do is then you can use the original as a template, and then you can save the copy and call it whatever you like.
Thankfully, Apple did away with that save versus save as thing a number of years ago, and I'm so glad of it, because that's always been a challenge to explain that to new users in Windows. When do I save? When do I save as? And even to the extent that you have to remember to save like in Pages, and I'm assuming in TextEdit as well, you're going to want to do one save when you first start because it's an easy way to name your document and so on.
Right.
But then it's going to auto save. You never even have to worry about that again.
But you can turn that off, correct?
Yes, you could. Yes, in settings, in general, and system settings, you can turn that.
And I have to one up John. He said it was in the view menu to hide the ruler. It's actually in the command comma settings all the way at the end to uncheck the box to hide the ruler.
All right, whatever. I haven't gotten it yet. Okay? I haven't gotten it yet. I did it a long, long time ago, and I don't remember, and it's just not.
Knowing Apple, it probably used to be in the view menu, and they just moved it because there's a whole slew of settings that I didn't even know existed. I mean, I knew about the default template, but I didn't know about some of the other ones that you could pick in there, like HTML, automatically tagging it, and putting a .dlc at the end of it and all that other stuff. So
right. Like I said, this is the file. One of the examples of an Apple iCloud savvy app.
Rename ellipsis.
You also have the ability to rename.
Move to ellipsis.
Move to, which is I use this a lot. So if you accidentally save the document in a location you didn't intend, you can actually use the move to dialog to pick a different location.
Revert to.
Okay, and we have revert to, which is part of, again, this is kind of what's Apple's sort of little twist, where you can actually, it's the auto save part where the version history of a document is kept on your hard drive. So for an author, I've worked with, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 published authors, and they love this because you can go back in time and look at your document in various stages. As long as it remains in the same location on your hard drive, the version history will maintain itself. So, like, for example, I've worked with an author who says sometimes, you spend a couple of days writing a chapter or two, you're not really happy with it, you got a bit of writer's block, and then all of a sudden you find inspiration again, and you look at those 2 chapters and go, wow, I really made a bad job of this. So you could go into the version history and revert back to, an earlier version, or if you like parts of the document but not, all the changes, you can cut and paste from the past and copy from the past and paste it into the present version of the document. So I've worked with people that really, for the average user like you and I don't know how much we're really going to need to revert and do that kind of thing, but it is definitely a feature that I've had some clients really appreciate.
Insert from iPhone, submenu.
So we have insert from iPhone.
Export as PDF ellipsis.
Export as PDF, because Apple loves the, their quartz system for PDF conversion and tools. You can also do it through the print dialog as well. You can actually convert a document into PDF instead of printing it.
Show properties command page setup ellipsis, print ellipsis, new command.
And it's back to new. So that's the file menu.
Edit menu.
I'm gonna
format.
Let's look at the format. Edit's just got your basic editing things that will, like any copy, paste, and redo and all that stuff. But I want to show the format because TextEdit by default saves in rich text format, RTF.
Font submenu.
So you do have the ability to change your fonts.
Text submenu.
You have your ability to center under the text submenu, bold, italics, etc. But there is keyboard shortcuts as well. And one of the things that I stress to people is always go through the menus and pay attention because, like, for example, I'm going to do the submenu for text.
Text submenu, check mark, align center command, vertical line, justify. Align right command, right brace.
So you see some of these options have keyboard shortcuts.
Format, make plain text
so
command.
You can make plain text.
Prevent editing.
Prevent editing.
Wrap to page command
wrap
shift
to page.
W.
So the formatting, make plain text is useful if you really just want to have the document without any type of formatting. My understanding is that coders like to do this with TextEdit, and there's a way I think you can export to HTML and such as well, from TextEdit.
Allow hyphenation. Make a layout vertical. List ellipsis. Table ellipsis.
See, there is tables, but as I said, VoiceOver doesn't really play nice. At least it hasn't in the past. If it's changed, then I stand corrected. But I know with my experiments of trying tables in the past, it didn't quite work.
Font, submenu.
Then we're back up to font.
Font, view, menu.
The view menu.
Window,
and then
menu,
the window
view,
So
menu.
View menu.
Show tab bar, show all tabs. Actual size, zoom in, command shift, zoom out, command shift, comma, enter full screen. Show tab bar.
TextEdit is basic when it comes to the menus. So it's like I said, it is a word processor. As you can see, it's got all of the, the basic stuff that anybody would need. I probably use this for, I'd say 95% of my document management. When I send in reports to states for client progress, I use TextEdit and I save it in RTF because RTF is pretty universal, so I don't get any complaints from any of my counselors about the formatting. So, you definitely want to consider TextEdit.
Zoom.
All right, so that's really it, with TextEdit. And, obviously it's got settings too you want to explore. And, I always try to tell people, learn the ins and outs of an application that you're going to use, because you never know when you'll find some gem or a jewel hidden somewhere that might actually be very useful to you.
Today, we're going to jump into the music app. This is an app that I literally never use on the Mac. I mean, I've opened it a few times and played with it, and seems pretty straightforward to me, predictable patterns, but we have got a few requests for Matt to go over this app. He's going to do it because he's better at it than I am. Because, again, this is an app that I don't use, and if I don't use it, I can't teach it. But anyways, we're going to throw it over to Matt with the music app.
All right. Glad to be working with you and glad to be showing the music app. I don't use it a whole lot either, because I don't use the Mac a whole lot. I use the iPad and the iPhone. But I have used the music app over the years, and it does offer you one particular possible benefit that I think we ought to talk about before we get into this. About the only thing, we've said you can truly use an iPad for all computing, hence the name of our class title, iPad for all computing. The one thing that you need a Mac or a PC in order to be able to do with the music app. And I suppose maybe in theory someone might find another one and say, hey, you're wrong, there's two things, but I only know of one. I'm happy to be proven wrong if that's the case. But the one that I know of is that you cannot import files or CD music, I don't know who uses those anymore, into your music app. So in other words, let me set a scenario for you. Somebody emails you a file and it's a song, and you want to add that into your actual music library. Well, you can't do that on your iPhone or your iPad. Now, you can absolutely play it from the Files app. You can use a third-party app like VLC. You don't even need an app. You play it right in the Quick Look interface.
So you can't use a share sheet?
You can use a share sheet, put it in like whatever it'll support, voice memos or.
But it won't go. But Apple Music will not be an option.
It will not be an option. That's correct.
Make that clear.
That's right. And you never know. That may change. Now we can go directly from the Files app to making a ringtone. They added that in 26. So you never know. But as of the recording of this, you cannot do share sheet directly to the Apple Music app. The device that allows you to do that is the Mac, and it allows it through an option that I'll show you in a little bit. But you can actually do this in a couple of ways. If somebody sends you something or you download something, M4A, MP3, you can add that to your library. You can add an entire folder. And the other thing you can do is still, if you are still, kind of grounded in the early 21st century or the 20th century, you got a bunch of CDs, and you happen to have a super drive, you can still import that CD into your music library. So that is still something that can be done. And the Mac is the only device other than the PC to be able to do it. So I just wanted to point out why we might use the music app in some very rare cases. For me, as an Apple Music subscriber, it's almost never. But over the years, I have done that. I'm already in the music app. I've launched it already. We're going to go ahead and just VO left arrow to get to the top of this. As Cliff said, predictable patterns, fundamentals. I don't think we really need to show you too much, but I'm just going to give you a few hopefully helpful little tidbits. So let's go all the way up to the top. VO left all the way.
Close button.
We're already there. So let's start doing VO right arrow.
Minimize but full screen button. Sidebar table. Row 2 of 819. Home. Selected.
So one of the first things you hear is the sidebar. And as you might expect, this is where all of your major categories are. And apparently a lot more than that, because it said I've got 819 rows in there. We will not be going through all 819 today, I can assure you. But let's interact with this and see what kinds of things we have in here.
In sidebar table, row 2 of 819.
Now it says we're on row 2, so let's start out by going to the left.
Search image.
Okay, so the very first option you have is to search. Let's go to the right.
Home.
And I'll keep going a few times. VO right arrow.
New. Radio image. Library. Edit button. Pin image expanded. Beach/road trips level 2. Chica bath time. Christmas. Outdoor Christmas songs. America.
Let's talk about that for a minute. And I don't remember now if it was iOS 18 or if it was 26. I'm thinking it was 26, but, Cliff and I live on the betas almost exclusively, and it starts to run together in our minds after a while. But I think it was 26. They made it possible for you to pin various items, your favorite playlists, your favorite songs, what have you. And I did these 5 pins, not on my Mac, but on either my iPhone or my iPad or maybe different devices for different pins. But notice now, because of iCloud Music, because I am an Apple Music subscriber, everything syncs. And so it is on my Mac, praise God, those 5 pins, our beach/road trips playlist, which is really our family playlist that we listen to just all the time. Lots and lots of different genres, gospel, Christian, oldies, country, all sorts of stuff there, and even some Disney songs. And then the one which some people I know think is funny, but we have this playlist we play when we give our dog a bath. She likes it. It's calming. She's kind of used to it. I have a couple of Christmas ones, and I have an America playlist we made last summer for the 4th of July. These are pinned, so they're always going to stay at the top of the list, and you notice that pin section said expanded. Let's go back to that.
Out crisp cheap beach/pins. Pin image expanded.
Okay.
5 items enclosed. Level 1.
Now, I'm going to just assume that we can collapse that with VO \, because that's usually how you do it. If not, it would be VO spacebar. So let's just try the VO \.
Collapsing pins.
There
Pin
you go.
image, sell 3 items.
There you go. So VO \, again, your fundamentals, right? So that's collapsed now. If I go to the right.
Recently added. Clock image, level 1.
And that's now, let's go back to the left, and I want to expand that.
Pins. Pin expanding pins.
And again, I did it the same way. Control Option \. We go to the right.
Beach/cheap crisp outdoor crisp America. Recently added. Clock image level 1.
All right, that doesn't seem to be expandable or collapsible.
Artist image.
Now notice.
Albums, songs, music videos, made for you. Selfie image, playlists, expanded.
Now that one is expanded, and this is my entire list, my complete list of playlists. But now notice if I go back to one of these, like...
Made songs, album, artists.
Let's just go to artists. And I don't think I actually am going to have to VO space on this. I think if I just stop interacting, we can go over, and maybe even we could have done a VOJ, but I'm not going to be that daring right now. I hardly ever use this app, so let's just do it the old-fashioned stop interacting.
Out of sidebar.
Go to the right, VO right arrow.
Vertical splitter. Artists table. No selection.
And there's the artists table. We'll have to interact with that.
In all artists, row 1 of 1,279 cell.
Okay.
Compilations, row AHA, row A-type player, Aaron Tippin, row ironic stuff, row ABBA, row accompaniment, Ace karaoke per Ace Young, the ad-libs, row Adam Sandler, Addison Road, row Adele, row Adrian Jones, Aerosmith, row...
Okay, you got enough there to get the idea that these are all the artists that I have. And so if I wanted, of course, we won't play anything because we don't want to get in trouble for violating copyright law. We don't want to violate copyright law. But if we were to, let's say,
Adrian Adele row.
say I want to listen to Adele, we could VO space. We now stop interacting.
Out of artist.
And go to the right.
Verticals Adele edit text.
There's the name Adele.
Play button.
I can hit play to start playing songs by her. Now we'll keep going to the right.
Shuffle button.
We can shuffle our songs by her.
Favored button. More button.
You get the idea here. You can explore these on your own, but
6 albums. 42 items.
All right, so I've got 6 Adele albums and apparently 42 items, which I assume are 42 songs, but maybe there's more than that. I might be wrong there because an album certainly has more than 7 songs unless, you don't choose to have them all. But I don't know if this is accessing just Apple Music or my library or both. I assume it's my library because it says 6 albums, but go to the right.
Albums, table, no selection.
All right, so we can interact and see what albums we have by Adele.
Download button, more button, iTunes Festival, London 2011.
Oh, that was an old album from when they used to do iTunes Festival. That's right.
Download button, more button, iTunes Live, download button, more button, 19 pop, middle dot, 2008, 2 songs 2.
Okay, there we, yeah, see, I don't have all the songs showing up here right now, but you can interact with any of these and you can, look at what's there. Now we'll stop interacting.
Out of albums.
We'll go to the right.
Do not shuffle button, previous, dimmed, play button, next, dimmed, do not repeat button, LCD section.
And those are all, you can change that. Right now it's on do not shuffle, do not repeat. You can change those. We have an LCD section here, which is kind of a status line, and that is, we can interact with that to see if anything's going on.
In LCD section, group, Apple logo, dimmed button, Apple logo.
And there's nothing we need to be aware of right now. That'll display what you're playing. When it is playing, I believe, go to stop interacting there.
Out of it.
Go to the right.
Lyrics, toggle button.
We can see the lyrics.
Playing next, toggle button. Airplay button, volume highest button, volume.
And that's it. You can quickly airplay to various, HomePods or Apple TVs or other speakers that have AirPlay, maybe your Sonos system or your Denon or something else, that a lot of things support AirPlay now. And then you heard volume highest, which will quickly increase the volume to the max level. Now, I want to go back up here to my sidebar. I want to choose something else now, like
inside recently add America out to crisp cheap radio image.
Radio, for example, and we'll stop interacting. Now,
out of sidebar,
go to the right.
Vertical radio collection.
If we interact with this,
in radio collection section containing heading radio.
Now go to the right.
On there now section. Artist takeover section, latest radio episodes, listen to interviews section, watch interviews.
Notice these are all saying section, so you know what that means, don't you? We'd have to interact with these. Let's go to the right.
In studio performances section.
Let's just interact with that for a moment.
In studio, live at Apple Music Radio.
Okay.
Live at Apple.
Live at Apple Music Radio. I would VO space, but we're not going to.
Out of.
We'll stop interacting and go to the right.
Do not shuffle pre-play neck. Do not LCD section. Apple
nothing
out
there.
In lyrics play volume.
So you can see that there's nothing in there. You'd have to VO space on that. Now the other thing that I'd like to do is to explore the menu bar a little bit because there are some options, particularly for how you view your music, because there's other ways to view besides just what we have here. So let's go up to the menu bar. VOM, of course.
Apple menu.
Go to the right.
Music, file, edit, song, view, controls, account, window, help, menu.
All right, lots of choices. Let's start out with file.
Do not Apple file, new submenu.
All right, new, you have in a submenu there.
New submenu, 5 items, playlist, Command N. Playlist from selection, dim, Command Shift N. Smart playlist, Command Option N. Playlist folder. Genius playlist, dimmed.
Okay, so the new playlist option I think is pretty self-explanatory. playlist from selection. If you had music selected already, you could make a playlist from that. And then you had playlist folder. You can do that on the iPhone and iPad as well. In other words, let's say I want to group playlists together. Excuse me, like, maybe I have 5 different Christmas playlists and I want to group them into a Christmas playlist folder. You have Smart Playlists, which allows you to kind of specify categories, or maybe you want it to be a playlist of all oldies music, or all contemporary Christian or gospel, whatever, and so there's different choices here that you can play with. I'm going to get out of this new submenu.
File, menu,
and go
open stream URL, new,
now,
close command, library, submenu.
I want to specifically look at library, because what I started out by telling you, one of the things you can do in the music app with the Mac that you cannot do on other Apple devices is you can add your own music to the library and have it show up in the music app. And by the way, I should remind you that if you have iCloud Music, which you're either going to get through Apple Music or iTunes Match, if you have iCloud Music, once you do add a song or an album to your Mac, it's going to be available on all of your other devices. So it's as simple as, okay, I like to use my iPhone or my iPad, but I want to add this old CD I just found to my library. I can't find it on Apple Music anywhere. It was a limited time thing or whatever. So I'm gonna import this CD. Well, immediately, or within just a few seconds or minutes, that CD is now also going to be available on my iPhone and my iPad, because once I've imported it to the Mac, the libraries sync thanks to iCloud Music. Praise God. So you have to have an iCloud, either Apple Music subscription or what they call an iTunes Match subscription, which you don't hear much about those anymore. I'm not actually 100%. I think I've not seen anything that says you can't still subscribe to those. I still have mine just because I was a little bit concerned about the conversion if I discontinued it, even though I have Apple Music. I thought, well, I don't know what'll happen. Probably it's fine, but it's only $25 a year for iTunes Match, so I just hung on to it. But certainly Apple Music gives you the iCloud Music library as well, and the syncing. And that's why my playlists are all here. That's why my pins are all here. So let's go in. We're in the file menu, remember?
Close library submenu.
Let's go into this library submenu so that I can show you.
Library submenu. 9 items. Update cloud library.
Okay.
Update Genius. Organize library ellipsis. Export library ellipsis. Import playlist ellipsis. Export playlist. Show duplicate item. Get album artwork. Get track names. Get track.
Okay, so those are some of the things. Update cloud library. That will make sure that everything is up to date across the board. Now let's get out of this.
Import ellipsis library.
And right below the library option is an option called
Import ellipsis command O.
Import.
Burn playlist.
And when you
show and find convert.
I think that's the one you want.
Import ellipsis command O.
And that should allow you to add music from outside of the app to the library as we described. Now you also have
burn playlist to disk ellipsis dim command S.
And boy, that's, again, going back if you still use CDs, right?
Show and finder, convert, submit, show and finder, dim command.
Show and finder is an interesting option because you can see where the music files actually are. Again, I'm not going to go through all of these.
Page setup, print.
All right, let's just
edit song.
Let's look at song.
Add to playlist. Submenu dimmed.
Okay, so you can add a song that's currently playing to a playlist that's right there.
Share. Submenu dimmed.
Okay.
Play next. Dimmed. Add to queue. Dimmed. Create station. Dimmed. Get info ellipsis. Dimmed. Command I. Show artist and library. Show album and show movie.
And the reason none of these is available right now is because we're not playing anything. We don't have anything selected. But that was song.
Edit. View. Menu.
I do want to show you the view menu because I told you.
Sort by, submenu dimmed.
All right, sort by.
Show view options, dim command J. Show filter field, dim. Show playing next command option U. Show lyrics command control U. Show status bar, enter full screen FNF. Enter full screen.
So you can look at the view options.
Sort by, submenu dimmed. Show view options, dim command J.
Which right now are not available. But there are different ways to view and to sort your music. And so it would just encourage you
Controls menu.
To take a look at that when you actually have something playing. And here are your controls, which there's some great keyboard shortcuts.
Play, dim space.
Just the space bar will stop and pause playback, or will play and pause music playback. You also, if you use the keys above the numbers as hardware functions, then what you think of as F8 will also play and pause. But here they're telling us the space bar.
Stop, dim command period.
Command period.
Next track, dim command right arrow. Previous track, Genius shuffle. Go to current song, dim increase volume command up arrow.
And of course, most of these things, again, are not available because we can't play music really in this session unless I find something royalty free, but
Decrease volume command down arrow. Shuffle submenu. Repeat submenu. Back dim command. Reload page. Reload page.
All right. So just let's escape out of this. Oh, one more thing.
Account menu.
I want to show you the account menu in the menu bar here.
Matthew Volbrecht. M.J. Account settings ellipsis. Sign out. Manage family ellipsis. Notifications ellipsis. Find friends settings ellipsis. Apps with access ellipsis. Authorizations submenu.
Authorizations. This used to be a real big deal, and I think they still do it, and it's specific to computers. It's specific to Mac and PC computers. It doesn't include your other devices like iPad and iPhone. You can have 5 Mac or PC devices authorized to your account. And when you first get a new Mac and you sign in, it probably will automatically prompt you to authorize that device. And if you ever have to bring it back to factory state and reinstall it, it'll kind of walk you through that. But if you ever need, like, we can go into this submenu.
Authorizations submenu. 2 items authorized this computer ellipsis. Deauthorized this computer ellipsis.
So if you know for a fact that you're going to be getting rid of a computer or something, you can always deauthorize it. And again, there's options later on. If you get into your account settings here and it tells you they're all authorized, you can deauthorize everything and start over. It's not a once and done thing or anything like that. But I want to do one other thing. We're going to hit escape.
Closing menu. Do not repeat.
Now again, I don't use this app much at all on the Mac. I use it a lot on the phone and the iPad, and even some on the Apple TV and so forth. But we're going to be very, very daring here, and we're going to try to actually do something. I'm going to see if I can find something royalty-free to play for you. So,
do not repeat. Play button. Previous. Full screen. Radio. Vertical. Sidebar.
Got to interact with the sidebar and go to search.
In sidebar. New. Home. Search. Search image.
All right, let's stop.
Out of sidebar.
Go to the right.
Vertical collection.
And
do not shuffle collection. Browse categories.
Interact there.
Hits. Apple Music. Christian. R&B. Hip hop.
This is a categories list. What I've not seen yet is the search field, so I'm going to try something.
Scroll area.
Okay.
It coming soon. Charts. Sell. Out. Do not shuffle, but previous. Neck. Do not repeat. Apple lyrics. Toggle playing. Air volume. Search button.
There it is.
Apple Music. Selected. Radio button. 1 of 2. Your library. Apple Music. Search text field.
What I did to get to that was Control-Option-Command J to move through all the form fields on the screen, because I figured I'd find it eventually. I just am not used to the app, so I didn't know where it was. It's at the very bottom, it appears.
Apple Music. Your library.
Well, let me actually stop interacting and see where it is. I might be wrong.
Out of full screen toolbar. Sidebar, vertical.
Oh, interesting. It's at the very top. I am wrong. It's at the very top.
Side to minimum close. Full toolbar.
And now there's something we didn't have before. Toolbar.
In Apple Music toolbar.
And the reason that's there is because it's got your search.
Apple Music search text field blank.
There's the edit field, and to the right,
Apple Music selected. Your library radio button.
You have 2 options. You have Apple Music and you have your library, so you can choose which you want to search. I'm just going to leave it on Apple Music and go back.
Apple Music search text field blank. RO at royalty
royalty free
empty royalty free. EP.
I pressed return, and what it did.
Royalty section. 5 items. Section containing Empty section. More by Terry. You might also like
got some stuff here we can interact with.
Royalty free EP section. In section
interact with that.
Royalty free EP. Royalty free.
Let's just VO space. And now let's
royalty
stop interacting.
Out of section. Section.
Go to the stop interacting again.
Out of. Do not shut do not collection. Vertical sidebar table collection.
Okay.
Next.
I don't know.
Do not else lyrics.
Let's
Toggle
see.
play air volume.
I have to interact again here.
Previous. Do not shuffle button collection.
We're learning together. So let's.
Do not shuffle collection. In collection section. Royalty free EP section.
Okay, there it is.
In royalty
I see it there. Now, do I need to maybe VO Shift M? Nope, that's not going to work.
Royalty.
Let's see. Can we interact again?
In Terry, but
yeah, we can interact another time. It doesn't tell you that. Look at this.
Royalty free EP.
You wouldn't think that's anything you can interact with, but you can.
In royalty free EP.
And what you have here.
Royalty free Terry button. Rock middle dot 2020 middle dot play button. Shuffle play button.
I really hope this actually is royalty free.
Containing empty set royalty free music for cinema and TV.
All right, that's going to be good. So let's interact.
In section 1 item royalty free music for cinema and TV.
Interact again.
In royalty free singer/songwriter play button.
I can play it.
Shuffle button.
I can shuffle it.
Shuffle button.
So let's just play it once.
Play button.
And then once I do, I'll be able to press the space bar. And so it's playing. Now, if I press Command right arrow.
Next track.
Again.
Next track.
And of course, at any time, we can press the space bar to stop that. Now, I want to see. Actually, I had to press the interesting. You know what? I'm wrong. It doesn't. So I'm glad we did this. And I should have known this from listening to the menu bar. I always tell you guys to listen to what it tells you. You know, in the menu bar, it said stop was command period and play was space. Play does not pause the music. If you want to do that, another way to do it, I just press the F8 key because I have my keyboard set to do that. If it isn't, you'd have to add the globe key or the function key. But I was able to just press F8. I can press it again. And press it again. Now, I want to do one thing here. I want to see if I can get the list of songs on this album while it's selected. We don't see it here.
Shuffle, play.
But we'll stop interacting.
Out of royalty-free music for cinema and TV, volume. 2.
And I think if I stop it, I'm going to try that VOJ.
In sidebar, table.
That's the sidebar. That's not what we want.
In LCD section, in toolbar. In content is empty.
Okay.
In collection, royalty-free music for section, royalty.
So it's not going to do that. Let's stop interacting. And
do not play do not LCD section, lyrics toggle button. Playing next, airplay, volume highest, volume LCD,
right.
Do not next
let's
button.
Go back into
play, previous, do not shuffle button, collection, in section, royalty-free music for cinema and TV. In section royalty,
and I'm not. If I interact again.
In royalty-free music for cinema and TV, volume. 2.
It might be
royalty-free singer/play shuffle.
Might be that I have to VO space on one of these.
Royalty singers empty section empty section containing royalty-free in royalty free play royalty in royalty free out empty top songs section.
Okay.
Albums section. Empty albums
interact
royalty free music for cinema and TV albums royalty empty
now.
Do not shuffle, but collection.
I think I now.
Vertical collection. In collection.
Interact.
Section. 7 items. Royalty-free music for cinema and TV. Volume. 3. Section.
And
royal out section. In thriller trailer. Stain. Bell. Goodbye. Action. Ukulele spot. A project.
I think those are the names of the songs, and you could VO space on any of those. What I had to do was I had to continue to sort of drill down by interacting, and every time I heard that name, royalty-free music for cinema, I had to VO space on that, and eventually it took me out of that collection and it put another collection to the right. So again, what this is about is really to explore and play with it. Now I'm going to see, since I have this selected now, is the view options.
Apple Systems App Store. Meet file at song view play space view show view options dim Command J.
Oh, that's still not showing as available.
Sort by submenu dimmed.
None of those is still available at this time. So basically, the only other thing we didn't do here.
Show filter field dimmed. Show view options. Show playing next. Show lyrics. Show status bar dimmed Command /
is to show the status bar, and you can see that even that is dimmed right now. I don't know if I would have to select one of these things to make those become available. But basically, the way that this is being viewed right now is very simply that you just continue to interact with the collection, with the album name. You can VO space on it, and then it brings up another collection, presumably containing all the songs. Don't forget also that you can ask SIRI to play your favorite album or radio station or song or anything like that. And I think that's pretty much an introductory tour to this app.
To me, that about covers it. I mean, like we said, predictable patterns, what you've learned here and out. If you don't know something, try it. I mean, you can't break it. So, I mean, and if it, turns into a view that you don't recognize, hey, Command Q, open it again, start over. I mean,
that's right.
It's it's pretty simple. All of Apple's apps are laid out pretty much the same. It's always going to be, the Apple menu, the name of the app, and then your file, edit, view. Sometimes there'll be some other stuff like format, depending on what app you're in. But other than that, the Apple, you have to. You don't have to be an Apple subscriber to look at the music app on the Mac. And also, I just looked it up. iTunes Match is still, or is it called iTunes Match still? I guess iTunes Match is still available for the $25 a year. So
I'll tell you what, I'll select a play. Again, I can't play this because this is not royalty free, but I just select something to see if it looks the same
vertical
as what we just did.
Sidebar.
Go to my pins.
Inside Radio Live Pins. Pin Beach/Road Trips Level 2.
Now there's my Beach/Road Trips playlist. Let's stop interacting and see.
Out of sidebar, vertical playlist details, scroll area.
All right, see, now that one's got a scroll area, so we know we've got to interact.
In playlist details, playlist header group.
And there's a header group.
Sort button, sort button, song, sort button, time, sort button. Track list table.
And that one's real easy. Track list, you can interact.
In track list table, column 2 of 6 play button. Song Lean on Me, I Can't Help Myself, Sugar Pie, Honey Bunch, You're the One, You're the Longest Time, The Sweet Caroline of Hot Buster Poindexter, Do-Wah-Diddy-Did.
Now all these songs.
Sweet Caroline, The Very Best of Neil Diamond.
If I want to play that, I just go to the left with VO left arrow.
Column 2 of 6 play button.
And I VO space on that play button. I was going up and down there. I was moving through the songs with VO down arrow or VO up arrow. If you go left and right, you get all the details. It said there's, I think, 6 columns here. So you have
column 1 of 6 favorite button.
The button to favorite this. The button to play it.
Column 2 of 6 play button.
Column 3 is the name.
Song Sweet Caroline, The Very Best of Neil Diamond.
Column 4 is.
Column 4 of 6 download.
A button to download it from iCloud.
Time 3, 23.
The fifth column is the time of the duration of the song.
Column 6 of 6 more button.
And a more button, which if we do this is going to give us.
Menu, 17 items. Pin song, download, add to playlist, submenu, play. Play next, create station, genius suggestions, submenu, get info, favored, suggest less, show album in library, show in Apple Music, show in playlist, submenu, share, submenu, copy. Removed from playlist, delete from library, delete from
and that's it. So we'll escape.
Closing.
So that's those are perhaps a little bit easier to navigate in the playlist than some of the other things we looked at. But I think that was a helpful add-on there to just show you how to navigate that. And all of those columns, that More button gave us all those additional options then as well. So I think that'll get you started with the music app.
One other thing that I'll point out is you can have smart playlists where you can have particular credentials. So you create the playlist. Like I have one called 90s music. And when I go into it, it says anything that is from the 90s that's in my library will come into that playlist. So it'll go from year to year. I'll have it from year 1990 to year 1999. I have different genres in there, R&B, gospel, Christian, hip-hop, country, whatever genre I want. So you can have playlists that do that. So when you add stuff to your library, if they fall into those categories or credentials that I just mentioned, they'll automatically be added to that smart playlist.
Yes, absolutely. Excellent point. Very good. And that's quite a cool feature, too.
It is, because it saves you a lot of work on having to add it to that playlist manually. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, we'd like to thank Matt from ttjtech.biz, and you know that I'm Cliff from Stir It Up. This was the music app on More with the Mac, JP Reloaded. Thank you for joining More at the Mac, JP Reloaded. Remember, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, something you want demoed, or a topic you want covered, send us an email at feedback@stiritup.com. That's FEE, the letter D, the word back, at STURITUP.com. See you next time.